Clothes drying racks are everywhere. They're an essential part of the laundry process. Have you ever thought how they could be improved? Well, today, my presentation will introduce the prototype that I believe will revolutionize the laundry process. My name is Matthew Buhler, and this is my presentation for my P4 prototype, the Quick Dry Drying Rack. Clothes drying racks can be great. They allow individuals the ability to save energy and money by hanging up clothes to air dry. By avoiding the use of a dryer, one can also extend the life of their clothes as they aren't applying a harsh heat to them. They also take up a lot less space when not being used compared to drying machines, which can be big and bulky. Well, current clothes drying racks can take up to 24 hours to dry a wet load of laundry. This is of course inconvenient if you are in a time crunch to get your wet laundry dried ASAP. This also makes it so that the rack has to be up for a longer amount of time. While the rack takes up a small amount of space when folded, it can take up a lot of room when it is up. There has also been evidence of certain types of clothes drying racks developing mold issues. And both of these problems have been identified by articles in AnyClean and San Francisco Gate. My solution for this is called the Quick Dry Drying Rack. It works by taking the design of a typical drying rack and attaching an air intake to blow air throughout the entire drying rack. The drying rack has holes throughout it to allow for even airflow, and this is detailed further in my video. There are some other solutions that have been developed because of the problems I mentioned earlier. The first is a hanging clothes drying rack. While this does reduce the amount of time it takes to dry clothes, it has to be installed into the ceiling. Therefore, it can't be moved, and it isn't an option for people who rent and can't put holes in their ceiling. The other solution is hanging clothes on a clothesline outdoors. The biggest issue with this is that it is weather dependent and is not feasible in Canada's winter climate. So the upside to my innovation is that it cuts the time it takes for clothes to dry in half, therefore preventing mold issues and the need for heat, which can damage clothes. The one downside to my innovation is that the one downside is that the air intake system is bulky and can be noisy. If this prototype is approved for further development, the focus will be on integrating the air intake system into the rack and adding noise dampening mechanisms to reduce the noise. This product is seemingly simple as it has the same setup as a typical clothes drying rack. There is nothing new to learn, it just has to be plugged in and a button pushed for it to work. This innovation will begin with starting with the simple design of a typical clothes drying hanging rack and adding the drying feature. We will slowly begin to develop larger models with multiple branches for hanging clothes and also models that can be more compact. This product has a clear message. It is called the Quick Dry Drying Rack, so consumers know exactly what it is, and I haven't tried to reinvent it as something else. The clothes drying rack itself is already in use and is quite common. This innovation is the air drying intake system that is added on top of the current design, therefore it is a compatible fit. The Quick Dry Drying Rack has been tested and shows consistent results of it drying clothes in half the time it takes a traditional drying rack to dry clothes. We offer an easy in by allowing free, no-hassle returns within the first 90 days of purchasing the product if a customer is not satisfied. So I invite you to watch my video for more information on the Quick Dry Drying Rack prototype and a demonstration. We went over what the problem was with current clothes racks. I talked about my solution, the Quick Dry Drying Rack, and finally, all of the tactics of innovation and how that applies to my innovation. Thank you for watching my presentation. Have a great rest of your day.